Well, next out onto the Speedway tonight will be the Fabco Dirt Car Pro Stock Division for their feature. 15 laps will be the distance. Mike Durham's number 4 will start inside row number 1. Outside him will be Kevin Federley in the number 57K. Burton Ward's number 28 machine will sit inside row number 2, and on the outside that'll be Taylor Dockstader in the number 60. Mike White, the number 1X, will sit inside row number 3. Outside him will be Ed Coteri in the 101. Ryan Gates, number 97, and Tim Bailey, 16X, make up row number 4. Row number 5, that'll be Will Gates, the 83, and Tyler Bushy in the X15. Down into turn number 3 and 4, O.J. White says, yeah, green means go. We go back to racing action. Couple of cars getting together back of the field, and Ryan Gates going to go around, or Will Gates, excuse me, in the 83. He's going to get twisted in a knot. Tyler Bushy tangled up with him in that number X15. Gates will get turned around and get the car fired back up. We'll go back to a complete restart with the exception of the 2 cars involved in the caution. But those 2 cars were at the back anyway, so it will be just an exact replica of that first start. Green flag will wave off turn number 4. Down to turn number 1 and 2 for the very first time. Kevin Federley's going to take the field down the backstretch. Mike Durham settles into the number 2 spot. Burton Ward looking right at his back bumper. First guy to step out of line, that will be Taylor Dockstader in the number 60. He'll go to the top side off turn number 4 as they come down the front stretch, score lap number 1. Burton Ward to the inside. Now as they go off turn at number 2, Mike White chasing him as they look to the inside. Federley wags it just a little bit off turn at number 2. That allows number 4 of Mike Durham to get within striking distance. Durham out of Gouverneur, New York. The Blair Automotive number 4 machine squares it off. He'll look to the inside. Federley able to hold him off as they go down into turn number 1 and 2. Federley out of Messina, New York. The JP's Demo and General Construction Lenny's Deli Ride continuing to show the field down the backstretch towards turn number 3. Mike White goes to the inside of Burton Ward. Battle for the number 4 spot. White's going to take it away off turn number 3. And now Burton Ward squares it right back to the inside. 3 wide down the front stretch as Mike White went right through the middle. Went between Burton Ward and the 60 of Taylor Dockstader. And White's going to take over spot number 3 down the backstretch. Mike White, a feature winner a week ago, or a couple weeks ago I should say, here driving right up into the number 3 position. He'll bring him off turn number 4. It'll be Federley continuing to show the way. Durham chasing him down to turn number 1 and 2. Mike Durham right in those same tire tracks that Federley is running. Mike White trying to hold on to that 3rd spot. Here comes Dockstader to the outside, and then it's the number X15 of Tyler Bushy. Bushy begins to close that gap in the number 15. He'll be right onto the backside of the 60 of Taylor Dockstader as he'll try to come off turn number 4. Burton Ward underneath him. Downhill, get it squared off, goes to the inside, side by side, 3 wide battle. Off turn at number 2 down the back, but up front, we got a battle shaping up for the lead. Mike Durham gets way off the racing surface, though. There goes Burton Ward to the inside of the X15 of Tyler Bushy. They'll be side by side off turn number 4 down the front stretch. Yellow flag is going to come out. A car around it in turn number 2 and slow. That will be the reason for the caution. Kevin Federley again trying to hold off the field. Mike Durham to the outside of him. All St. Lawrence County on the front row as we get ready to go back to green. Actually, we've got all St. Lawrence County in the first 4 spots, so they work down into turn number 3 and 4. Green flag will come out one more time. Mike White tried to get the nose underneath the 57 of Federley. He'll drive up to the inside. Burton Ward's going to be right there with him. Mike Durham back to the whip, drives right to the outside of the Burton Ward number 28. He'll hold on to that third spot. Battle side by side. Turn number 3 and 4. Federally trying to hold the lead. Mike White's going to come right to the inside, and Durham chases them off turn number 4 down the front stretch. White to the bottom of the racetrack, puts the nose out in front. White was your leader that last time by. Federally comes right back on the outside, though, drifts it up a little bit off turn number 2. Mike White able to pull away down the backstretch, will get out to the early lead down into turn number 3 and 4. He'll continue to show the way. Federally coming right back out. Caution flag will wave. One car slow over in turn number 2. Caution out for the Will Gates, number 83, as he had rolled to a stop up in turn number 2. And Will Gates will drive around. He'll take that right-hand turn and head back towards the pit area. Mike White looking for his second win of the year. Federally trying to hold him off here as we get ready to go back to green. Mike Durham outside Burton Ward as we go back to green. Off turn number 2, Federley's going to drive by to the outside, put the nose back out in front of the Mike White number 1 XL drag race down towards turn number 3. Who's going to drive it in deeper and harder? Looks like Federley's going to power right through the top of the racetrack, and Federley back to the front of the field, gets a nose out in front of Mike White down to turn number 1 and 2. White down to the bottom of the racetrack. Federley may have the preferred line though. He'll exit turn number 2 down the backstretch, gets the car back out in front. Burton Ward all the way up to the number 3 spot as they head into turn number 3 and 4. Mike Durham holding on to 4th. One car stopped over in turn number 2 as they come off turn number 4 back down the front stretch. Federally to the line. Caution flag is going to wave. Car stopped over in turn number 2. Looks like Taylor Dockstader in the number 60 had rolled to a stop. Got the car fired back up, but he will limp down the backstretch here. Kevin Federley back to the front of the field in the number 57. Will bring him down into turn number 3 and 4. He'll pound the throttle right about there, drives way up to the top of the hill, opens the door to the inside. White trying to get underneath him down to turn number 1 and 2. But Federley right through the middle of the speedway. As they said that last time around, looks like Federley's got the preferred line. He'll take him off turn number 2 down the backstretch. Federley to lead. White holding on to that second spot. Burton Ward is 3rd. And Ward's got company now as Mike Durham works outside him off turn number 3 and 4. Ward's going to hold on to the 3rd spot, but Durham working to the outside as 5 cars now break from the field. 5-car battle off turn number 2 down the backstretch. They will go. Kevin Federley opening up about a 2-car advantage over Mike White. Then it's Burton Ward, Mike Durham, and Tyler Bushy rounding out the top 5 as they go to turn number 3 and 4. And all 5 cars in the camera shot here off turn number 4. Mike White to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to slide the nose underneath the Federley number 57. May get there this time, but Federley gets a good run through the middle of turn number 2 down the backstretch. Mike White comes off the bottom, found some moisture there. He'll go to the inside. Federley continues to run that high groove. He'll work right through the middle of the speedway. White with a little bit of a bobble, but may have the lead this time off turn number 4. Mike White will be your leader down the front stretch. White back to the head of the class. Federley settles in the number 2 spot. Burton Ward 3rd. Here comes Tyler Bushy in the X15. Bushy's going to go right through the middle, and all he tried. Federley slammed the door shut. Tyler Bushy did the right thing and got onto the binders and avoided any contact there as Mike White brings him off turn number 4 down the front stretch. Federley now side by side with Burton Ward. Battle for the number 2 spot. Off turn number 2 they will go. Ward to the bottom. Here comes Bushy again. 3-car battle for the number 2 position. Late going in the Fabco Pro Stock feature here tonight. Down to turn number 3 and 4. Mike White trying to hold him off. White flag is out over the field. White flag is waving. Mike White stretches that lead out in front. And now here comes Burton Ward to the inside of Kevin Federley. Outside will be Tyler Bushy. Bushy gets into the back of the 57 of Federley, but back up front, Mike White right now. A 2-car advantage over Burton Ward brings the field off. Turn number 4, and contact behind him. Mike White's going to score the win. Mike White's going to get the win. Kevin Federley will be second. The X15 will get docked a couple of spots for the contact on the back of Burton Ward. That's going to slide to number 4 of Mike Durham up into the third spot here for the Fabco Dirt Car Pro Stock feature this evening.